Welcome again, and in this video I will be showing you a final UI that looks like this. And to create this type of UI, we will be going to Notepad and creating a new file. And here we shall be starting creating a div class, and under that div class we will be creating a form and submitting and creating submit button. As submit button, we'll be creating a submit button, and on that submitting button we will be inserting a query that need to be connected to our database. And after connecting to our database, that it will be login successfully. And in case if not able to connect to a database, or if it is not invalid, or if it is not valid username and password, then it will result by showing login failed. And we will be doing that entire code in this video. And now let's create a div file, div class first. And since it is a let's make a column list of four, or column mid column, and I'll be giving here 4 since the div will be of course of 12. Let's save it first, it will be sounds more better. And here I like to give a test.php extension, and here save it, test.php. And here I will be creating a form here. And to create a form, just open a form action also, and here method. And of course the method will be post, not a get. And here as to notify user what we are going to do. Let's sign in here. And to label here, just go and write here a label, label for what, for input email, or the username either can be email or that can be a username. And here I like to give add input email, and here as email address. Here label, and give here an input type, and the input type of course is text formatted. And here id is input email, here. And on name I like to give a username here, username. And the placeholder, for placeholder, that if we initially see a form then there should be something same like placeholder, and it will be more better if we have a autofocus cursor on that form. So here let's give a placeholder as username, username, and since we are going to give a autofocus here, autofocus, let's enclose by input type, and to do more attractive between the username and password field, it will be more better if you int by, if you give a break option here, and here just to go and copy these two cases and Ctrl C, and here I go Ctrl V, and here in case of the input email I like to give here as input password. Input password, and simply copy it here, not an email address, simply a password here, and name, of course that will be a password here, password, and placeholder, of course that will be also password here, password, and the level is completed over here. And as soon as we have created finish a username and password field, and here what we need here is a simply a checkbox to provide a UI to user that whether this tool have to remember that password for this condition or not. And to do that, just create a div for remember me field over here, and let's get a next div, and div class over here, and I simply like to give it a div class of checkbox, no box, and a simple label, and the input type will be input type, and that input type is checkbox, here, and a value here I like to display is remember me, since it's not for display, remember, only remember it will works. And here the display material remember me, remember me, and close the label over here, label of course. And by closing the label, we should have to close a div too, and here div, yes. And our checkbox label is also closed. And now let's create a button. Okay, button type should what button type should be, yes, button type. And button type should be, since it is our login form, and here a bottom type should be submit, of course, submit. And give a name to it, simply a submit. And a value, here this value will be, just give it login, and just close the button. And here what we need to display is sign in to our user, and close the button, close the button. Since this is the UI, our UI has been preferred, and check whether our UI has been created or not. Let's save it first. Control S, hit Control S, and go to our browser. And here simply write test.php, test.php. Yes, here this is what we have done by as to an email address and username, password, remember me, sign in field. Here if we click a sign in, it goes nothing will be gonna be here. And now let's do a backend by using PHP in this test.php file. And here to connect to our database, first we need to create a PHP, start a PHP function. And here let's create a condition of is set. If is set and submit, yes, of course, submit over here, submit. We again push the value login, of course. And here our user will be user equals to dollar underscore post, yes. And here simply a username, and end it. And password field, variable password equals to dollar underscore post, that should not be seen to the user while posting. And what we need to give a query over here, we created a only database and created a login table in that, and created a username and password as a field. So while creating a query, what should be shown to that user while submitting login or while clicking the login, here we need to give a query over here. And to create a query, just simply create a query variable. And what we are going to do is we simply gonna select everything from our login table, where we have where we have created a username and password. So we need to select all username and password. Select everything from login where username equals to $user, since we have created a user over here, user variable over here, and just $user and password and password and password equals to $pass, since we have created $pass as variable that reflects as a password. $pass, yes, $pass, and we created, we indeed it, and now we simply connect our query by using MySQL query, and for that I created a variable rr, and here I use MySQL underscore query, my underscore query, and here I connect this query to my database, and my database will be, since I have created a connect database in test underscore connect, we'll be inserting or including that test underscore connect in this file. And now simply we gonna use over here, and to use that, I know connect is my variable that I have created earlier, connecting this query to my yes query, and I will closing it, and here the result variable is gonna be holding the number of MySQL no, and this result variable is gonna be holding number of rows affected by that query, and for that purpose we have this num underscore rows, and here I like to pass $rr, since $rr is holding a query. Further manipulating the result, let's go and create a PHP file over here, and over here I like to simply connect my PHP file that I previously have created, and simply I start over here, start, and I like to include here test underscore connect, .php file, and close this, and I like to include here a header file too, header.php, and as soon as we have finished including the necessary file, and here we will further manipulate the result, and if the result gonna be greater than 0, then we will be creating some condition what it need to be done. So if my result will be greater than 0, that means 1 2 3 or anymore, then what I like to do, here is I will be going to a header location, and where by directing to a location user.php user.php user.php, and something is missing over here. This need to be in semicolon. Yes, semicolon, and just give a session variable over here. And if my result is greater than 0, of course, if it got a successfully login or enter the valid username and password, then it will go following that user. And if unable to enter correct username and password, then we still have to create a condition. For that, I will be creating else condition over here, and for else condition I shall be inserting here as I shall be displaying echo, and over that echo I like to display login field. Here we have created the both condition for valid user and invalid user, and now I like to close a form and div over here. So what I like to do is form, yes, form of course here, and closing a div over here. Yes, again I will be checking it, will be saving it, and by hitting Ctrl S, and here we go. And now let's write username admin, and the password is 1234, and here is remember me, and sign in. I simply like to click sign in over here, and here we go. It says congratulations, your sign in is successful. And here I made a simple change in this video. You might be wondering what's the result. Here I simply change the text in user that you might be having showing different, and here I have changed some change in the code, so the result is some other. For example, let's check if what the user admin mistype the password. Here, yes, it's shown login failed. Here the simple style is kept or text style is changed. To do that, you can simply go to your code and make your code colorful by simply writing here span style color red login field span. And by doing this, hope you have learned to make user sign in your website. Thank you very much for watching this video.